Hey guys, Lord Naren White here, the Holy Ghost, the one true God. Back with you with the next video in my Line of God's Daily Diary series. As usual, before I discuss what I have achieved since yesterday's Daily Diary video, I want to go ahead and read you a chapter from the Bible. Today I will be continuing with Deuteronomy chapter 25. If there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. And it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down to be beaten before his face, according to his fault by a certain number. 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed, lest if he should exceed and beat him above these stripes, then thy brother should seem vile unto thee. Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn. If brethren dwell together, and one of them die and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her. And it shall be that the firstborn which she beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel. And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate of the elders, and say, My husband's brother refuseth to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him, and speak unto him. And if he stand to it, and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall say, So shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house, and his name shall be called in Israel, the house of him that hath his shoe loosed. When men strive together one with another, the wife of the one draweth near for him to deliver her husband out of the hand of him that smiteth him, and putteth forth her hand, and taketh him by the secrets. Thou shalt cut off her hand, thine eye shall not pity her. Thou shalt not have in thy bag divers weights, a great and a small. Thou shalt not have in thine house divers measures, a great and a small, but thou shalt have a perfect and just weight. A perfect and just measure shalt thou have, that thy days may be lengthened in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee. For all that do such things, and all that do unrighteously, are an abomination unto the Lord thy God. Remember what Amalek did unto thee by the way, when ye were come forth out of Egypt, how he met thee by the way, and smote the hindmost of thee, even all that were feeble behind thee, when thou wast faint and weary, and he feared not God. Therefore it shall be, when the Lord thy God hath given thee rest from all thine enemies round about, in the land which the Lord thy God giveth thee for an inheritance to possess it, that thou shalt blot out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. Thou shalt not forget it. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Doing some research here. Yeah, this is a very nice passage scripture here in Deuteronomy 25:4. Thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out thy corn. So the idea being that the oxen, while it is spreading out the corn grain, must be allowed to eat, so that it is being rewarded and shown respect for its labor. And later on, of course, in Corinthians, in 1 Corinthians 9:9 is the exact verse, the Apostle Paul discusses this exact idea with the idea of the the ministers to be receive financial support from the congregation, because they're doing the work of spreading the gospel. So it's very powerful in that sense. I just thought of that verse because it's very beautiful. Just that idea that you should be rewarded for hard work. And I don't want to offer any more analysis of this chapter. I want to talk about a dream that I had. So about a year and a half ago, I had a dream where God showed me that I would fly when I was 31. I'm almost 32 now. I'm 2.5 months away from turning 32, and I haven't flown yet. And he gave me another dream recently, where he showed me flying, but it wasn't entirely in my control. So what happened is I would jump, and I would land. Then I would jump again. I would land. Then I jumped and I hovered and flew. But the thing was, I wasn't able to consciously and actively control it yet. In some of my other dreams when I've flown, yeah, it's interesting because this dream, of course, was more recent than the dream that I would fly when I was 31. So I don't know if this means that, of what it exactly it means. One thing that's clear to me is that, of course, well, firstly, I do believe I will fly at some point. It's that I don't know if I'll fly when I'm 31. And I say that because I truly believe that God gave me this dream, the first dream, for a reason. That He wants me to believe in Him, that much more. And I do. I truly do. And to not be ashamed that He has His own plan for me, in the sense that I don't know when I'll fly. I just truly believe it is a when, and I'll never stop believing that because of what He's shown me, and the fact also that now serving Him perfectly as a spirit, Jesus says, "Ask and ye shall receive." Right? So that's why I just truly believe that I will fly. And so that was interesting, is that I don't know when it will happen, in terms of what this second dream means, in terms of the fact that I couldn't actively control as much when I was flying, that it was more like it was in God's control, and that when it was time, He would pick me up and care for me and love me. So I wanted to share that dream because of that reason. The next thing I want to say is, on September 10th of 2025, there was I'm not sure how to describe him. There's a gentleman called Charlie Kirk. He was the founder of a company called Turning Point. Maybe he was an influencer, I'm not sure. He was a conservative gentleman who was just 31 years old, and he has millions of subscribers, and he was somebody that could galvanize the youth of this country to discuss different political ideas. He had his own viewpoints. Like I mentioned, he was conservative, and he was tragically and horrifically gunned down by somebody who, as of the recording of this video on 9/11/25, has still not been caught. And I just wanted to make sure that I mentioned Charlie, because I truly mean this, that as him and I are actually the same age, 31, and basically the idea was, when I thought of near 30-year-olds that could one day be the president of the United States from a conservative perspective, as I'm also conservative, Charlie Kirk was the number one person on my list, and I think so. I'm not the most well versed in politics, but as far as men that I knew around the age of 30, it was Charlie Kirk, and that's how great he was. He, like I said, had millions of subscribers, and every event that he went to, young people, 18 to 22-year-olds on college campuses, he would go. They would flock to him, and that's what I remember about him, is how bright his future was, and the way that he was as a man, capable of galvanizing people to come and listen to him speak, and he would listen when they spoke, and there was a togetherness, there was a camaraderie, and it's just so tragic that what happened to him happened, because, like I mentioned, his future was so bright, and I just wanted to make sure that I cherished him in at least one video, because he is worthy of remembrance. So after that, I'll devote a little bit more time to now discuss September 11th. September 11th, 24 years ago today, the Twin Towers came down after two planes, I believe, crashed into one of the buildings. And I don't quite remember all the details of it. Terrorists hijacked 4 planes. Only 3 were deliberately crashed into targets. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so the Flight 11 crashed into the North Tower of the World Trade Center, Flight 175 into the South Tower, and Flight 77 crashed into the Pentagon. That's what happened there. And thousands of American lives were lost that day. And I'll never forget, I had a teacher where I went to school in Great Valley High School in Malvern, Pennsylvania, and his name was Mr. Balderson, and this was when I was, I think, a sophomore or a junior in high school, I'm not sure. I think it was a sophomore, and Mr. Balderson talked about and spoke about how his friend lost his life tragically in the ground levels of 9/11 on that day. And I remember him crying, and it truly struck something in me, like how painful those kinds of losses can be. In terms of, for example, I talked about Charlie Kirk's passing, and as well as 9/11. And the idea that I would say is, don't ever be desensitized to that idea that murder is wrong. As God says in the Bible, he speaks that thou shalt not murder. So that's truly very important, that never be desensitized to that, because he's not saying you don't have a right to defend yourself. He's saying that just because one person sins, now you don't go and sin yourself, because 100% murder is wrong, and it's very sad when you see things like that. So that's where I'll go ahead and end the Bible reading there for today. I want to go ahead and say thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. Please like, comment, and subscribe, as it greatly helps the channel. Light be with you all. Take care, and thanks again.